Hey.
Watch your
I think it's fair. Lawyer Chum, Aquaba net saying. Oh, Fatchame. We are senior, me pacho. Why you saw a me pa?
Oh, there was
Bibi Aboko.
Yes, it is and whatever.
Yadamia
Seboko dear.
Adom.
Na birthday man tissue, you part from the AH, yes, a party wine.
Party may train Yami Adnum 40 and my party.
And they can never
yeah. When somebody gets older,
yes.
Not celebrating, what are you celebrating?
I'm celebrating because
you are getting closer.
Plus one was one.
You are excited to go now. See, David. Now, so you are celebrating. Now, so why are you celebrating the fact that you are inching closer?
It's very necessary.
It's very necessary
that you celebrate your closeness.
You celebrate. You celebrate the life you've lived.
I never question Zobi. I don't mean 40 years and then I'm trying to celebrate. Thank
God for adding yet another year. It's a deduction from your years. But thank God for adding another year.
Yes, adding on and taking. I mean taking out.
Plus one minus one.
That's zero.
It's not zero.
Plus one plus one is zero.
It's not zero. In our mathematics, it's not zero. It's still plus one.
Anyways.
All right. Obindi. You may know how about this.
Mate, yeah, that's it. Me bow Atik.
Yeah.
Afi my mean tier.
But I seen Eddie can the Republic of Gambaga for me chubia Endrana the overlord of the king of the Republic. Yeah, Nedamba Festival.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yesterday was the turn of the Gambarana to celebrate the Damba and yeda obia okoko grace occasion as yeda omunyina se any man program nyina na yirisu ye ne dia kama konti yeda obia se and we should find time maybe next year nyame adom na yetinkwan mu
amemra Gambaga
na Republic you must na be hwe the we are northeast east
that's northeast region.
Anyway,
part of the bigger
on the watch or Amanonity,
part of the bigger northern region.
Don't worry, middle
northeast, but not.
But if you go to northeast now,
I went to Nalerigo.
How do you get to Nalerigo?
Oh, that's what mean.
Maybe I will tell more about it.
No, this is scandalous. No, because they are
Met me the work baby was Shanty region. I was winning.
No. You see, Gambaga, it's like 10 minutes walk until you're there, and you pass through Gambaga to get to Nalerigo. Okay. Unless you go for Garu and now go for
campaign, and I hear
in a convoy.
And
nobody
no
Timwa no answer oh okay.
How I know you know
and I'm sure Cross now because the Republic is unique and can
okay, I think me patrol unim say and His Excellency the President have set affected communities by spillage of the Akosombo Dam, and after the visit, President Ekosiisen, and let's pick briefly in Sema or can it be Yaba now? Yaba become was a president and another dam kwa Akufo-Addo Yentino.
It's simple one. It is to come and sympathize and commiserate with you about the tragedy that has occurred. When it happened, I was in America on official business. When the chief of staff called me in America about what had happened, and we discussed what had to be done. So that's when we agreed to establish an interministerial committee to coordinate government response to this tragedy. The coordination is about immediate, about tomorrow, and about tomorrow. The most important thing was, first of all, to ensure the life of people. And that is why 9 centers were established here in Mepe for all the displaced people. And the people, all the people in these 9 centers have been provided relief items by NADMO. And it's NADMO's intention to continue the exercise of providing relief items. So apart from what NADMO is doing, we have also to think about the future. I'm aware that you are farming people. The people who are farming on the banks of the rivers. River banks that have overflown and destroyed many of the farms. So one of the things that the Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Finance, and the Office of the President is going to be working with the District Assembly is to decide exactly the nature of the support we have to give to you when the water has gone away, to enable you to do the farming.
I have Minister of Finance, Minister of Agri, President of Office, Wajadudo Gome, Benjamin Kejola, Nukamia Wako Pede Agredelau, Pre Akpailau.
That's why I'm saying that the committee is working in several phases. One, immediate relief.
The committee in several phases. Veton. Egbanto nyebe nukemiao enumake be America bagbe machimo.
And then tomorrow.
Albe echo.
But I want you to know that the government is going to do everything in its powers to assist, to make sure that things are all right.
I
think everybody here, and I hope you take the message all across, North Tongu, South Tongu, Central Tongu, that when these things happen and government acts, politics does not come into the matter at all.
Politics
When I took the oath of office as president, I took the oath of office as president of every single individual in Ghana. Of all peoples in Ghana, all districts. And whether they voted for me or not, once I have taken the oath, I am the president of all the people. So, Togbe, you and your elders, I want the people here, you, beginning with you and the elders, to understand that when something like this happens and government acts, government is acting for Ghanaians, all Ghanaians. I came here because Ghanaians are having difficulties and are suffering. And it is my responsibility to try and help. Because if it's a question of counting who votes for me and who doesn't vote for me, I shouldn't be here because you don't vote for me. But that is not my concern. And in any event, one day you will vote for me and my party.
But the color, Togwe Kreba Mukatawa vote na Tigrini.
So, Tommy, I came here this afternoon to express my sympathies and to commiserate with all the people of Mepe and the area. I chose Mepe because
Asempa FM. Asempa FM.
94.7 Asempa FM. So that's the president Nana Danko Akufo-Addo or Kasa Ewo Volta region after his visit of some of the areas in Sioux the Afawo. Into I can't send but I think we'll come to that issue. Initial issues never GJ in sense right into my main tier and on Afi and Twaso.
But as you be, last week, Beka Nisi or UTV. You know, we expressed our views very clearly. You know, my media, I didn't mince my words when I said no, you know, and you know, and I also took issue with the conduct of A+ and as for same become men ye be a best say was no what you say. But and I advocated their prosecution and strongly so. And many I say you muko some Libya because na look your best studio ebe boa dwumadi what is it nti if nhihye bi ni ho a protect yen ya sabe enye ne make nyina na ema ya kan say like ne omutie na enye ne nyina na omani je ho. There are times out me bibi obi wo ha and people are very passionate about some of the things we discuss here what is here. And this mechanism be new to protect the discussants, the hosts, and as if one. We enye journalists from asem na ye kan no and I can because apart from journalists, I think the only one I bet you can say no a journalist was the host.
Sure.
What I said, no one can now were invited guests, you know, guests. Until say na yang kasenti yes idea, we become endangered species and anything is possible. Tina me kasatia and I felt say a prosecution would serve as a good deterrent. And media, I'm excited and I feel say police for now you the way as a fatter. But there are concerns about the extent of punishment exacted on these on the UTV 16. No? Media, I have some views, but the most important thing is I said here say ni AC no judgment na dey amom no. So more in the long term. I would have thought say other charges could be added, like unlawful entry and some other charges. But
it should be the first one.
But the most important thing is me. The question I ask myself is what is the? I asked it last week. What is the end game? What's the end goal? And they say, Ochinabi obi was adwum pona onye. Because Obeka is omu ye no. Yeah, omu bibi. And sa bibi no so ya omu. People are ignoring the most important, variable in this equation of, like in the sentence equation. There is one key variable I be more overlooking, which is the effect of being an ex-convict. Says here, omu na maybe are ex-convicts. Yeah. Who feel it for an episode say, have you ever been convicted? You have to
answer yes.
As all ticky yes.
Yeah.
And who cry should even be enough.
Yeah.
Because my understanding is that these are political animals.
Sure.
And a bit more have ambitions. And you are upon which say once you become an ex-convict, never be won't mean yet. In other jurisdictions, once you become an ex-convict, once you are say, a Joe Crown you been yet. A Ghana Hana Obi ex-convict. oh what me adwuma me rise to become a chief executive elsewhere sabi adwuma nkiti kra wonye bi nye uko baby to America being an ex-convict is a big deal won't even nye adwuma papa nye aji menial jobs and that is why sometimes you have this vicious cycle of obi akwa abasa akobiem because onye adwuma papa bi nye bagana hadie emi say we don't pay so much attention to these things. I
just say elective position.
Unless elective positions. And I say, who yeah, Amanyo Sema. Unless we obia who really is not keen on playing his part or her part in politics, your ambition is to rise to a point I bet you to swaba.
Sure.
Now, sir, sentence as so quite say you can stand to be elected into any office. Whether assembly member or because the qualification for assembly member is that you should be qualified ordinarily to contest as an MP. Meboa. Ntini nyina requirements ni ye pepepe. Nti idea e won so so more idea be how. Nti that for me is great enough you can say deterrence. Now the other one no penalty units na ye kaso muntua no. Sentencing is always discretionary for the judge. The person can either opt for the lower unit or the highest. Until the minimum was 200 penalty units. Yes, sir. Not just you can't go below. Is it 250 or 200? For conspiracy to commit crime, no. What is the minimum number of penalty units? They can help with that information. And I know said the maximum is it shouldn't exceed 1,000 penalty units. Sure. But the minimum is where I'm not too sure whether it's 200 or 250. If it is 250, then probably you can raise issues of say no, it should have been a minimum of 250. But that for me is even beside the point, because 250 to 200 now, the value is not significantly different. But for me, the message I send across is what I was interested in. Say that chibi obi ko ye bibisa na obekai ana wo trimpo say me pese me ko ye bibisi obekai say asumesi ana obentim mu ko ye omo no. This is how it ended. And people are just thinking it's a 2,400 days. Se party paying for am between mangrove bi omuntimi ntua o. Let's not exaggerate their economic standing.
Because apart from the regional
deputy youth organizer,
omo maka in a polling station.
What is here? And I mean, unless party paying for B would intervene, 2,400 crowd not your bedding. A coming one the uncle would say, that is where they would feel the effect. But of course, among yourself,
best step in.
But who will step in? No, who channel now would two or more because I'm yet to see and I hear any MPP person or praise you. No, sometimes your offer was not in a good position.
Okay.
Did I say to your man? No, because I don't find a boom.
Yeah. What I think it was 1,000, right? That time it was 1,000.
10,000.
1,000 cities.
The 2013 Indians. Yeah, it was about 1,000 cities.
Really?
Yeah, check it. It wasn't that much.
Well.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't that much.
Anyway, so the point I'm making is Minyenti MPP Nibia, apart from a few, irate youth who are running rampage on Facebook and other social media platforms. Bibrina Ekasatia and EC. Almost say no no. Until yet, Cheska mom because Mijidi says I never yen to a mufo. Say there are better ways.
Oh, it was 7,000 rather.
7,000.
That's 1,000 there.
And 7,000 at that time was
really good money. What is here?
Over $1,000.
Yeah, at the time, yes, it was almost 2,000. No, for almost $1,500, $600. What the? In America, say, ye Cheska can mom. I said 2 or more because when you phone Ankasan, Omaka City as a near Omuye no man any year.
Yes.
Now, I think that this should be enough deterrence. Mitier GGA president, no, he felt say more could have been exacted, but let's also consider other factors that probably ameliorated the sentence. They pleaded guilty. They didn't go to say they were contesting the charges,
and they had apologized.
They had shown good faith.
Those things.
And these are elements that you expect. Obi ye born no. Mingazi okukuni pa na no. Mikasa. Obi betimi aka say na obi ye born na ana ko wie ye sika na ye mfa ncha wo. Uko boy kro no if you are corrupt and you are found ye mfa ncha wo. Until Missy, she said the part should go through the full length of the law. And if she's found guilty, we and yet say man could dim what I say. But you might say that didn't involve violence. Like you educated me, you know, earlier on. Say those crimes are incomplete crimes.
Yeah, inchoate offences for the conspiracy to commit crime.
No, Bibisa
inchoate offences.
Until Bibisa no at least now.
That be senior that way.
Now we know we try and who be and secondly so they admitted say indeed near year yes. And yes,
maybe I'm first time offenders.
No apology. I'm not apologize.
I think in court no. I think in court they might have
or their counsel might have
apologized on their behalf. I'm very
every lawyer would do that for them.
Yeah, but not so mitigate.
No, but the lawyer acts on the instructions of the client.
Absolutely.
You cannot say I'm apologizing. And come so I catch you I can't yourself apologize. What you say? So Jitum said they apologized. And Medium Jitum said they apologized. And they showed enough good faith.
Yeah.
Until I don't think the punishment could have been or should have been worse. I mean, the mere fact way more to stand elections no cry and these are young politicians who some of them in Kase or Munina. What I say, some of them would aspire to run for offices, even in their own parties. Because the qualification to run for an office in our parties, HSA, you should be ordinarily qualified to run for the office of MP. Until Omukrano going forward.
Oko party veteran crowd was bit
what I say. Until when you media engine too. But me kind no. You see, we were talking about the storming of the studios of UTV earlier. And I now what you crowd. And we had another incident involving political players beating up a journalist. Where they didn't visit mayhem and have violence on anybody. Where they brutal journalists, no?
I think first one violence behind him. Exaggeration.
First one violence. Or say second one no more journalists. Okay.
One man too bro for the kind of view I mean.
First one then violence in UTV then.
Then American.
Yeah, UTV then said there was no physical. I think that was
assaulted. Somebody was Missy Obi was assaulted.
Somebody was assaulted.
What was assaulted?
No, media, as far as I know, there was no assault.
There was no assault. But I want to say the technical definition of what assault is. When you put people in an imminent fear of danger.
Assault with actual battery.
It is assault with actual battery is different.
No, they will have assault and assault with actual battery. But you see, Nintia Mika said, I'm not a lawyer, but my little reading of the law, to the extent no, I didn't see anybody feeling a sense of danger. To the extent I'm for bed chicken wings for
video anymore.
We were picture being there were no boys no almost started editing. There were no music. I said no they will endanger the life of this food. That is the only that's the only thing closest to assault. They assaulted the food. But Nipa and said people were comfortable and were saying okay, you're meeting about. I mean, I didn't see any. Even though storming the studio was wrong, but I would not sit here and exaggerate. Say they visited violence and made people uncomfortable. They were having conversations as they were doing their small chops. They were having tete-a-tete with the management. I couldn't. I mean, how can you say it was violent?
Yeah.
But NSC or
NSC regional office
is objectionable, and they say condemn it because I know Sebi more why do you extend it to the journalists? Journalists no boni na why merely appearing there to cover NSC nana, and I think that and also immediately it ought to be prosecuted. Not because Nipaniye belongs to party A or party B, but for the fact that Nipano assaulted somebody. It is not just Nipaniye media personality. Assault by itself is a criminal offense. Now, Nipano say journalists. If you are doing this to journalists, what do you think is going to happen in 2024? Omuna sabi bibi kwachiwa. Omuna ombe report yamae. Say asume si yesi obintin yesi. Na Nipano ankasa bana mwa esemu protection so that they can help all of us secure our elections in 2024. No, what do you think is going to happen? You are instilling some sense of fear, and now you are exposing them to fear. Say about political events, dear, who come as a journalist, your life is in danger. And for all you know, they might would feel threatened to appear at our events to cover the very Nyomana Opesa Omokavano. And I am happy the GJ issued a strongly worded statement calling for the prosecution of perpetrators. No, and me for us, and ordinarily, if GJ Kran can, and ought to have made that demand. Say they should first be arrested, arraigned before court. Now, this no. Because journalists now on boni be no ye. Wanya boni bia. If say you feel say you want to engage in 1 or 1 a year, move to 2 blues. But journalists are be on boni be no ye. And it's about time we broke this cycle of intimidating, hurting, and you can say beating up journalists at every turn. So obi na ya. Ma obinya na yem politicians no yen kasantia. But if we are the ones visiting this mayhem on journalists, what do you think is going to happen to them by other sections of society? So politicians are who are supposed to know better. Bru journalists, problem. I mean, we do want me to journalists want to boni by now. No boni ani say she came to do her job. And I think say we must condemn it in the strongest words possible. Now, we should not just.
No arrest have been made, right?
As far as I know, yes.
I think but party need na some now can one more party need Ghana.
Oh, say NDC for make NDC for
NDC headquarters.
More party need.
No, me boy. Say NDC or NDC regional headquarters no. And we cannot allow them. We should not accept it. And police for the swiftness with which they acted on the UTV 16, I expect similar spirit in executing, NDC there. Now, what you say, any nonko, Nesi or Dagomba, Dagbon FM, they acted swiftly. This is the kind of police response I expect to see. And found party are involved. NDC Neo, say Chinuko, MPP Nia, they were loudest on the arrest and prosecution of MP4. We should see similar, anger. What must I say?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like I've made this point severally, the media constitutes.
But the assault of that journalist, who video Maya na?
Yeah.
NDC regional office there.
MZ
video
videos.
Maya.
I haven't seen any, but I only saw the video of people.
Time I'm more saying Konyano. But the assault on the journalist, because if there is a video, why the delay? And why the delay in getting the people involved?
Yeah. Well, I think something like that, if there is anything like that, it ought to be shared. Beyond the prosecution, the public needs to be made aware. Say near A2, Yenuya Banani. Now, Yenina Betimi Akasitia. But look, if we have our internal frustrations, the journalists should not be the ones to vent those frustrations on. Or no, Nejuan is there, near A
cover.
I'm not sure she was invited to come and cover the fisticuffs.
No.
She was invited to come and to come and cover a vetting event. Okoye ni degenerated no. Oh no, the uncle fan hobe. And I'm within account. And I think say, you see, last week, when we and NDC4 were loud on this, I said the tone has gone down.
A true or mono.
Minti say obi kase yen chisa nkrofo no ntum.
Say afena lawyer chume be kase.
And you no
part in so issue statement signed by the communications officer.
Mintis why?
Then they said they will support the arrest.
Why? The MPP issued a similar statement. That didn't stop us from condemning and being loud. That didn't stop the NDC from being loud on the issue. And demanding said they should prosecute them. And I'm saying that beyond the state, Minti say obi. Some of the MPP people were very loud saying that look, Nomi and Ncheye and Mrano, they should allow even the Minister for Information.
Yeah.
I'm not speaking for others. Minti.
You want the NDC members themselves to be loud.
Exactly. The Minister for Information issued a statement and even supported the need for prosecution.
Sure.
That is the kind of attitude that we all need to have towards some of these things, because ABN na to yenuaba no ochine betumi to obi a you are close to na niesi wo UTV no nienti a ye nyina na ye kasa ye tietie mu. It's not because we feel say like yeah tasan microphone.
Okay.
But the omu ye no ochire betimi atumi, ebetimi atukofi, ebetimi atuchum. And this like and I said it. Said they came for the court. We pretended we didn't see.
We didn't see.
They have come for the media. Ebimu are trying to be hypocritical about it. Very soon they'll be going for parliamentarians.
Yeah.
Nti enu nti na mika say yankase nti adi. They came for Ebimu in the UTV studios. When then obi enim ebi ochina bi, they'll be coming for panelists on Ekosiisen.
Yeah.
What you say?
Yeah.
Nti we must condemn all these acts of violence on journalists in all forms and shapes. Nti police for no, I admire the swiftness with which they are taking these matters up. And on this issue too, Ms. Rese, they should do just as they have done in the two previous cases.
May that say, I think Mohammed Yatene can Ekosiisen in Higher Sempa 94.7 FM. And we will hear from lawyer Chum Berima on this issue, and then we deal with other issues. But we say Obi, Obi seems to forget so easily and quickly. A couple of the panel members on that same UTV program were not long ago found guilty of an offense related to their conduct and utterances on that same show, and were also fined by the court without any custodial sentence. We were told that their fines were not paid by themselves but by the station executives, and no one said that was unfair. Why should we have an issue with this fine, even if the party chooses to pay for them? The punishment and impact of them being ex-convict. Be borne by another party member, and that's what is important. It cannot be borne by another party member, and that's what is important. Starsky, thank you for your thoughts. Obi Atik don't know what he's saying. He should wait and see the CCTV camera and how they manhandle the security and cameraman Fifi from Asawase and Onodiwe Aba Fifi Yadase Papa. Where's the Obi? Most of the companies here in Germany will need your police report before you get employed. Ofoko, may that say, Papa, for your thought on this one. Where's the hi, Obi? Please, can you give my number to Lawyer Chum? Okay, Inti, I'll do just that for you. Lawyer Chum, Ababe Kansa Ewaha. Eric Tetefroku also says, okay. We'll talk about your issues later. It's your birthday today, Mr. Kwekusego. Kwekusego, yeah, Deputy Communications Officer of the Western Regional Football Association and based in Takrady. Kwekusego or Rock FM do have a really, really, really good birthday. Lawyer Chum, me pacho Bremwe on this issue. Other issues. On the way, no, in the member. I thought that you had done the GJ way.
Hey, you said any
okay. Oh, the lawyer Chum we are member. Let me visit. Okay.
Very quick, and I can very quick, and we are making.
No, I don't mind.
On Kennedy,
man, can very quick. So very quick.
Jamaican say, yes. No, yɛnhwɛ kwan a yɛbɛfa so a yɛbɛyi saa nneɛma we free in politics no. Yehunu se mfumso ba mfumso na asɛmba na yɛde foreign mpanyimfo bi a ɔmote ɔmo baabi asɛm we ba yɛ Atiku bɛkae a kɔfo twenya de kɔfore Ekufuado obi meboa kan ya sɛ Ekufuado ɛna asɛ Ghana politics ɛna wama tutra asɛm aba Ghana politics mo emu bi yɛ kan sɛ da bi a mo de ade koi mo de kɔ akyiri dodo ɛnɛ ɛni na wɔtwempo ena we yakoba nti me nso me metena meka se President Mahama ene ma sa de isi ana me nka se President Mahama ene ma radio backbone de isi se mfumso ba ye nyina ye nyimfumso ne ntum na ye condemn mfumso no ba wo ye wadwen se politics nti obetwe asem ni mu a de akwa akira wa hwe a Ghana politics na ye ne bebu aka osim because Ghana your politics na yen akoye say cyclical ekwa na asesi ti asemba yenya abotre metie nkofo bi di se we omusi di Ekufuado atempa ko Facebook young people look there's one guy Ekufuado there say and this Ekufuado guy he has destroyed Ghana politics look at this he's a hooligan I'm like hey how some ranti akoyo omadia papa no kra wa America or any program onim hu matching and ne asem ne bae and central for mo twi mo a enuano man this crowd over gas politics but in central for mo twi mo a de akufo ado be fry no we bae no my din and just say bia omo person be kan NDC deal but kwan omo fa so kan kane no say no omo be kan bia omani mbegu ase omani mbegu ase poto
but unim Samo
so a deputy general secretary
for the party in the US.
I think so.
Okay.
Obi,
although I condemn.
Sorry. General secretary.
Although I condemn the attack on the City FM journalist, we must understand the magnitude of invading the studios of a media house. It's not the same as that of an attack on an individual journalist. Do you know? Invading the studios of a media house can be used to announce a coup d'etat or a military takeover.
In this period of multiple media pluralism,
declare coup d'etat, state broadcast.
Yes.
State
broadcast.
Now go don't say what declare coup d'etat. I mean, come on, Samuel, let's not justify this. I did you me here, you say I am very careful, say me find politics. Because can never be brave mu ametimi dey politics. But say am pe o mining kan kwa yenko yanim. Ti na me ka say yemfanya adesua. Efiri na ekoi. Se mabunu ana nipa bi koye ne mfonso a. Yenka nipa na waye mfonso no ho asem. Na yennyai se amanyosem nti si epese egu nipa bi hu finti no ye betwe asem ni mu na panyin bi a ote ne ba bi sabe ade a ye nua ekoye wo adabraka yi menyi ni da se president Mahama beso daye
no kwa da ayi ba ndisi de na
original office say wala
yeah minister ba me ka se menyi ni da se president Mahama beso hu daye da se mabunu bi e wo ne party mu koye sa I don't think President Mahama or any leader in the NDC hierarchy will think anything like that.
Yeah.
You need that. So be better, sir. Say see doing ketia. Say fifi kweti. Say why MPP NDC MP. Obi any obey, sir. What you say? Because irrespective of our politics, President Mahama is a responsible gentleman. He will never go to that level. Samson Yehusi who say, Akufo-Addo is responsible first gentleman of this land. And irrespective of our challenges, Akufo-Addo nkoshe mabunu bia kutupa da. Say omunkoye ade etisa titiru say radio station. Say DNT. Ti ebesre. Yebesre Ghana politics no ba bia e de kono. Minia lawyer, yebesre monso eniema ni bi ba. Because politics na mode ye no it was too far fetched and the kofra ya unu me say no mo ye omo kan na Akufo-Addo ba omia government and na hooligans and na why please ye nyai sa na ye nyina no ye nko na ye nkasentia sanfum so we na ntimi nko ye
Kofi Medase lawyer Chum
Medase am say I mean UTVDA now to send ne nyina wo hamza Kofi pen nanka ye ho but ne wo hamza na Dennis Mono by that day if I remember yeah I know so about ministry so wala but with I mean all honesty and idea said nyina me nsad nyase ya condemn me TV to that late hour no and me anapa no momu no ana me hunu ye and me hunu ye no in fact I have to call somebody that to ask idea we ya me huni idea see wo ampamba na then because sometimes the social media there obetme hu bibia odanya na enkonto post to verify ni ya na say one ka say na kwata for story na adnam so then the person says oh yes and credit is no na no now the only lucky part I said I mean the friends say A+ na no mo hwe no so no eso no so the on this group bad them so no bedu ho no na police wa before no kontem say kanya sa ade anem say kade abate ne kwanya de ye ana ka bi ho na se bia nka betie ba ne nyina mu no sabita fracha anya ne kwan so no you see obi mpani se ba bia de ndan fan to afrito there is always a way to communicate say that the kan kan ye betana ne ya kasa sabi if any listeners near any reform yeah mo fenche enya de be ya wo den ne be kam wati it is how I want to make my argument It's what I say. And Obi, you know, I mean, even in the law court, some are governor and the account. But if we left a neighbor, who's if you write, we come off every center.
Yeah.
There are times even judges even get issues with even the kind of argument we are even putting up. But on never the understanding upon some on the center on doing that, you still have to just listen to us. So what I say, and this sanity. But some many of you turn to Nagana Coviton to come and once a mass empire from one. It doesn't mean I have to come to us and come and beat Coviton to up. I mean, that is, so irrational. So what I say. It's a yeah. Sir, the punishment, whether or not is enough or not enough, there is punishment.
Yeah.
What I say? There is punishment. And as it were, no matter what, your name has been entered into the books of the court that you have been convicted. Send the case, send the ketwa. That thing be said and said now woman I can American embassy visa you have been convicted. Who can know they can track to know home get into any 10 years but don't go be you know UK the same thing Germany. I mean most of the western countries in sanity. It's a name you pompo beduachi. But I know I'll say I'm just dear ma obia say. Yes, we are doing politics, but you have to be very careful with the kind of lifestyle that you lead or you live alongside your political activities. So you finally find out to be, excuse me to say, misbehaving to that extent. We sit here to disagree on matters, sometimes at a very hit level. But say Monday morning, your friend is saying, Carlos Ahim can tell you UTV and to be very honest with you, you need to be only an American. You meet me in a very heated argument, but now so I'm telling you here, man, not entering that. I would disagree with you on an argument. I mean, or I think also you did something. I just don't want to repeat it. And within a short time, my changes very hit. I mean, heated one bar. But yeah, bonko master, ya papa, mobile baby. Manon Canada. Okay, and I say, I'm quote to the stand to say, Sabi or no better than and as if you are better than and see that. But we will make our arguments forcefully and whatever. So what I say, and you know, who fear now show be. Said I mean, for once I agreed with Gabby on is he a post you make is what's in for we're not doing TV. No, in talk. The American were now on pad do me say do not your net. I'm going to talk. What does it? And as I'm going to be up. But let's put it on record. There was a gentleman at UTV by name is it Eddie or Eddie, one of them. I mean, name the phone, but one time in Eddie. I'm sorry, is it DOP or is it DP?
Director of photography.
Very good. Into or no, he was assaulted by the gentleman when they got there. It's on record. But that day now Monday no
with actual battery.
Exactly because
battery.
I'm telling you. I mean, something to mean.
I get you.
And to add more to it, the medical reporter, police demand something called. Yeah, on that assembly Saturday, right?
Sure.
Till Monday night, call show so what on set. Until when you're there, I mean, but we made no see one. On the side on the NDC, Amrantia, almost so could Sabi, Yambranson Sabi. And I don't remember I was like, is this thing really true? Sabi, then, in fact, we saw a platform back, so senior Kakresuman.
Okay.
And I mean, he responded to my question, and I mean, what a statement from statement, and then other things that will make me know some passive business. And I was shocked. So after that, I called somebody whom I know may know much about them. I said, I didn't see anybody said, "Muso veteran." Anna, I'm so the I'm so woman, it's a friend number. And anybody means a contest. So me and San Mumba, Consabia, means I say, coffee, a candidate. So coffee supporters, they can say, the petition about Sabia, and disqualify me. Now the petition company was in disqualify. You see, as some women tell me, and some American was both sides of the political parties, whether the MPP or the NDC, in so who issue against a candidate. Now the petition come up in penny for wouldn't miss a won't mean so won't what's what what the come on, leave them to do their work. Obi, I come here as a petition back penny for any matter betting committees and others. What the petition, brother? There are things I mean once a petition about two anymore. Obi, and once and be an sofa, but yeah, sir. And penny position of him, what say, Metra committee back was a veteran Sabi. And send you on the bar, yes, and disqualify a brand tobacco and any above our back. Obi. To be honest with you, I mean, you know, wouldn't me background. Come me police any law na carry boom. Who should now also investigate now? I mean, I was expecting certain things to have been, I mean, clear.
Yeah.
But who should who are now person. So I can tell me say ye obedient free party book. Edu kofidia be shemu a obi. Me ba go ye free party book o he. Wawu. Na ba say na wo a wunni branch on wo timi hu sa de na a wo beka. Wo na branch woni and say police woni ba nyina obi e me come ma complain biara. But you are the only person citing something that you don't even have access to. So what dig deeper? What you mean? So yes, we'll make a case there. But your case is not that strong to be able to cause us to make that pronouncement that one person making now. One answer boy. What you say? One question boy. Ebi na see I lady I can say similar thing. Sometimes politically to ensure that there is peace in Obi. Wo study ade na na of say ade we wo de tu benkuma o haba wo de 25 o haba kalvinvi de vivin ne sen mu nyina mo nko say competition eh de na say bitafra cho tafra say one night ya bebutu ba ko ba ne be wini out of mo tre no so mo nko wa ho de nko wini wa belusu no bra ne nyina nko yaduma it's as simple as that and no na obi ntia sie ne nti wo se matam konya me hu konya no bo jam can you imagine
who destroy party property because the petition are coming
because the petition are coming anti
I mean Charlie
and the theory anti the petition ya so but maybe they not agree and na court ya unko ye obi how many times do people go to court and that their case and I mean have been thrown out na ntia no ya to out na judge na popo na what yes inside time ba wunti I mean say me anapa me can you me say me for babi nye pampa so for babi nye boom se menya kukudro ndi ani bre so can be pedi American this dey say the American ya it is so irrational and I share the same stand with the party's position issued by Sami okay that I mean the party is going to take disciplinary actions against them number one alongside them so by no be and no ni because I mean you put an end to this things obi and for what did you so when one than quite enough I feel not to me no as you say bubu tam ko na de sure brand wo de ko na sure na disqualification na penaba mo va bubu ko nya bebrebe wo yi nipa na mo pese disqualification say ameno ka say nipa na disqualification let's be a bit reasonable okay this things doesn't help anybody no one the car say nipa say disqualified na wo kan de be wini because they are three two more I mean you ba ko fu master na ka two me ba then that's how you ba ko fu ma wo de be wini. Don't try delegates. Obi, delegates and you members how many of them become elections on. Kakama hun Obi. Say unto abaning we pan kan ya. Meaning jubilate. See we mami who says whether national elections or whatever. See we pan modi mami who say wait the hand away the hand mean jubilate. Because be beat me see. So that answers and say woman post out if I say now I dream for you say. Se me free man say be that can detini free mu a yours stand a better chance no who said that how sure are you the table can turn are you with a question I can say the table stand the tables can turn at 10 abend and also no will you go back and beat the EC for that we need and we need na let's be serious okay so Area as a bit of a more company, some coin debate. Never in the sense, said, one now in water. Now, one person will now in Ankaoya. Ah, the Oyan, now one person will be back up, whether on TV or whatever. So, how are you doing it? Huh? How are you doing it in the first place? What is good for the goose is as well good for the gander.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Mate, Ekosiisen so high Asempa FM lawyer Chumberema and Moten can with that around condemnation of the EC Ewo La. Ekosiisen so high Asempa 94.7 FM. Ma memfa we in Tremnafe Yemra back near Rameshe other issues on our table. This one says Obi Jesse Behene Ewa Beka. Two quick questions. After the attack on the City FM TV journalist, would it be right to say that it was President Mahama that orchestrated it? Can we say the media is under attack? Sometimes the NDC makes politics very nauseating. I found lawyers' position on this matter very hypocritical, really. Also, the energy he used on the MPP matter is not the same as what he's using now. Jesse Ben, hey Jesse, and I check energy levels. Hey,
I mean, what you yeah.
I mean,
I never cited even a dot of encouragement of your BIA.
Sure.
So that's it.
Sure.
That's the way I answer.
We say Obi, under which government did his supporters storm the court to free their members standing trial? Fifi Waswase the way Abba. Shamo comes back again that Obi, they were using state broadcaster at that time because there were no private stations. But therein lies the difficulty in doing it now. It will not allow you to do it. You will not use that route. Now, radio.
No, maybe. Who call you TV because declares I've taken over the government. Which government?
So we declare what YouTube, now we declare what's and buy from Mr. Government. I've also
no, now only black who declare what I no, short as they say. Media pluralism makes it difficult for some of these things to
do that. Where's the Obi? Kofi is really on point. We all condemn the act of these NPP and NDC assault but when has the GJA condemned act and unethical behavior of some journalists? Andy Dako and on the way I say greetings to incoming MP for Sante Drabain, Francis Owusu Achian.
On that occasion,
Andy Dako. Andy should be Francis.
Wait, the man
Francis Owusu Achian.
Francis Owusu Achian. Obi, you mebun. And I've always advocated the inclusion of young men in our decision making. And I do so on the grounds that they are gifted with some expertise. And yet, maybe an here of parliament too. No, Sabi kind of cry, and you'll be an here of parliament too. Like, we need people with different expertise in different areas.
Sure.
And Francis is one such person. If indeed he has ambitions to go to parliament,
he does.
I double support it because
Asante Drabain
North, I think.
Maybe sitting MP, the deputy communications minister. I think. Deputy communications minister.
Francis is a geologist.
Yeah, Francis.
He's an excellent young man.
Guy.
And these are the kinds of young men we need in parliament. And support me. Sabi one number. I mean support you. But Francis is one of a brilliant geologist.
He's solid. Very solid.
Okay, I say Obi text me about titles, right? Obaka was a brave bony dean. Yeah. Men no, I'm saying men can't even know but we were three that day. Yebishiawa. And I remember me said now now who's sense of my news I can't remember but I said something here sir. Yeah, bona boss I'm on the drink kwaso wonko.
Yeah.
Me ka that day kwa me dey say dem put mampani anim wa haka say. One money pana dwuma so kwetena. Ne fire first kwetena language am. And I said be kwetena condition mu na na review.
Ye man akade a de be.
Exactly. Me kan sa wa ha say enema wo de be na dwuma ma vaako because I just obi a wonnim vaako so faso. Obi. Ajo obi a wonnim vaako so faso. Me bra na me we na dwuma me boss wo de vaako be kan no. Eti by what that I got to know enema vaako no ye betumi anya free mu ne that it's huge.
Yeah.
And until Sunday, Abasobo sat ba, honorable. Me the American Gedi Cano. Nim Wajman Cassia Obacos ye. Na, because in Baby Abasinko asked what my from the CEOs or some managing directors and Abasinko. But Penny for some money in your shading. Through Obi Chum, Obi the Attic, Obi the Sing. Ma wudi ni na ho se wadwuma wo ya de edutwam fa wo ma abasin community tin ya bi obi akra ade ni ho man mo mu hia o kase compliments in baba but I mean as we normally say said your sins are funny out but my papa you know anya de anyway na anyone ho dance which is wadwuma ya obaye and also the obi anya de ya disie cause wo ya ya hwebra ayi papa ya we ono basa mo nneoma donko
yes
ofi STC Nana Kumia took over and commended him. Sorry, they were doing so many things.
Sure.
A travel Juma said, Fanatias and all Juma would do Emma a STC4. And on only predecessor by what you have been say, Papa, you better now where Yagma. Sabina making you. Nisani been making. It's no, I mean, and so I didn't want to know. he should push it and push it. I mean, you were about a year and some months to elections. Where the table 10, we can't, I mean, exactly say it. But, Nina Muno, what I saw by Cowboys on Cowboy, you would do myself a time, but you want to dance now, which I wouldn't want.
It's true. It's true. May I say? I'm told say DrabenMpini, Honorable Amma Poma Boating, deputy to Esla also. Yeah, deputy to Esla.
I know because you know.
And the equity and her.
I'm not sure. And media, like I keep saying, apart from the youth card, no. Who would go and add to
the quality in Parliament. And Francis or Mines and Energy Committees.
Me see,
expertise
in geology and mining is solid.
It's true.
Especially we are not getting as much as we should be getting. From. It's because Sabi, I'm not saying that almost 7 on our committee in here, but now almost training is not in that area.
Yeah.
But
do you think with time we should add certain expertise areas to add to the parliamentary
constitution review process? When we appeared before the commission, I made that recommendation. I said, look, the qualification to be a member of parliament is too basic. You just need to be a Ghanaian,
18 years, sound mind,
18 years of sound mind,
and the claim says you should be of sound mind, which is whatever that means.
Yeah.
Because it's way Sabi, chairman, amongst us, who is of sound mind? What determines whose mind is sound?
Huh?
We don't have a measurement and a criteria that would tell you, say, assume a C
or a sound.
No, damn bonnet. Sound mind is not say what about them. What is it? No, be or more than you know.
It's not defined.
It's not defined. Can it be? No, mean be sound.
It's a basic.
The requirement. So I made a suggestion, say, at least at the barest minimum, we should include some minimum level of education.
The majority leader has been pushing for.
You know what they told me?
Education, I think it's important.
They told me that that's discriminatory.
No, I disagree.
Say you cannot discriminate against somebody by virtue of the formal education.
But you see, no.
Say nyansa wo way.
Some kind of Obi, and this is why I'm saying no.
Yeah, the commission.
Mini 8 years and above. Me mean kasa me ko parliament me buana. And a mini 40 years into me mean kasa me ko president. And no,
and you're discriminatory.
So
universal adult suffrage.
Yes.
18 global phenomenon.
It's agreed.
I think, sir, what other countries have done is to have a bicameral chamber.
That's it.
And you have an upper chamber where your experts would be.
And the lower chamber is I mean, the House of Representatives will be at me, baby.
There have been some argument to say your cousin say to young Niam converting it to
an upper chamber
or whatever. Nina, but the American say. The nature of parliamentary works in one.
You require expertise.
I mean, you need to have some kind of academic skills. And now the committees need discussing by getting to down Chelsea. I do
but we have. Look, me see.
You can't abandon law. It is true, but this is here. Ya chabo ma say ko represent here say ban na what is.
Na koyemra papa.
Na emra na you check government. Okay, you can check government. Now we check government now one na then we check government to won tiase. How do you check me?
In American will be to say Francis like when it comes to mining.
Okay, yeah, or not
when it comes to geology
a go-to person.
Like it's a go-to person.
What time
is serving on Uko Mines and Energy Committee. Sabi Mr. Mikanidim. Bebre na they've never had any training in either energy or mining. Now, so they are serving on that committee. What I say, NTBB Tochiwa, they are unable to tell us, but somebody who has lived all his adult life doing things related to that area now.
But interestingly, the majority leader on this campaign, the supporter,
supporting
to make sure a minimum.
No, but
apart from what the Constitution says.
Yes. No, why do you think that is?
Education level will be to get.
Why do you think that it is not getting the kind of support to get?
Obi,
because
some supporting one. Onion to say. Majority leader onion to say. So maybe some support onion to say there should also be a cut-off time. Obi to parliament.
Oh,
No.
That's
No.
the
No.
argument.
Oh, no. I want to make it
Talk about
lawyer.
what will defeat that proposition?
Exactly.
You are talking about
experience.
but
Tell me experience.
then you cannot appropriate.
No. Experience, right? I'm saying on one Oko Parliament no go.
That's not the point.
Oh, it is the point now.
The American say,
No,
if you make the argument, say we should bring a minimum education level to be able to get us quality laws.
Yes.
Then that quality laws, no, as a function of longevity in the house.
Absolutely.
And I'll build the experience and how to even review bills. Longevity. But you can have career politics. What's wrong with that?
We've had that.
No.
What's wrong with that?
A lot of people,
But there are 40-year parliamentarians in the US and in
Oh, sir. And you are maintaining 40 years for
but you saying the experience is important.
No, but
You are saying that
yes. No,
you are saying that there should be a cut-off point for how long you can stay in the house.
Of course.
And Okacha said that defeats the purpose for which we are advocating for inclusion of educational
way, you know.
Because experience and education and the board
good
quality
laws.
So, are you talking about education level? Because unless man 2 year, or are you talking about special qualities? Be or special skill set?
I think
the two are.
They are not.
I mean, they are more or less.
Unko school let's say Unko school be now.
Literate.
Let's take the finance and economic, the committee on finance. What is here? You have no education in finance or economics. BBR. Now you have skill set in welding. A skill set, all right. What are you going to do?
Okay.
So the question is, committee. First of all, educated Ghanaians how committees members are selected. Unim.
Most of them consider your background.
Their background.
But there are times you don't have that background. You know, you do account. Because then you're behind what's happening.
You see, you consider background,
and
then a bit more need background. Because the SOT as say, baby, I may know by adrenal education. They say, nipa know a certain degree of competence. It is expected, say, over a period, no, or build competence in the area. Because I think, let's not forget, say, Parliament, no, yare oho, uwu oho, bibia oho. It is a oka say, yempe. Finance background on Kwankugu finance background. First of all,
finance committee.
So first of all, the mandate of parliamentarians is representation. And sana we ni abetos.
That's a representation.
Yeah, it's representation.
These are manifestations of the representation.
The people now omo to aba. Ye di kan to omo so aba se omo nko kan ya asem nya den. Emaye. Obu ho a oto aba ne bridge bi a abunti na wo heso ato aba. Oh yes.
And it's true. But we have to correct that.
Yes.
O bridge abu akwa assembly.
And I call this, you know.
Atik, who ye campaign?
Yeah.
Who ye campaign? You know. You see, I see a tear say. The entire Ghana for to Obama will be called parliament. Any omu reason. And no they paramount. Their main reason why they are voting for somebody to go to parliament is paramount.
That's fair. So but if you have amongst normal contest, you know, obia a minimum level of education,
yes,
then they have quality.
I don't think America say you set the stage as minimum.
Yeah.
But say specific skill set. Me need finance background. So I tell me first degree in economics. By virtue of reading and etc. Say me a lot of government finance debates, etc. I go because I'm a tomebu esua, a ready esua. Obi betimi akwatena or welding background. As long as the competence in the washroom over a period, no, obeti and near manasi.
And the chairman is an example. Because I don't know a lawyer
in the area.
No, but the point is that the welding background, no, welding, now, Ebiawako, NVTI. Oh yeah. Literate, you can read and write welding. Okay. And I said, welding, Nipanin ko school da. Ontimi ntroni din. Ontimi science signature.
School ni me say me no ya adwen.
But say no dey can.
Dabi. I think pushed it a step further. Say committees in so no. yen shanko for ne
who have
background
specific expertise.
Oh,
You don't put them there.
Background they
But it's like that already.
but they make sure say there will still be people who don't have the background, who go there.
but
Oh,
they're
of
still on
course.
that committee.
And they can learn.
They can
That's
learn.
that's true.
That's the-
But my main point is that do you agree, sir? Because
who have
as
no background,
as we speak
Obi
now,
what background, and you claim that they will, why are they going
But
to
I
learn?
think you can never get a parliament where we are all the
I'm just
expertise in
saying,
finance.
Kofi,
or
but I want
something.
to say as we speak now.
Yeah.
Emfa hon say won see school dem da.
Okay.
Untimi
still
ntro obi.
Yeah, that's what-
Untimi science, untimi ko parliament say unim.
And we have a recent example.
Yeah.
There's a recent example.
Anyway,
Anya yi, your friend is saying.
anyway,
Akwetia, yes, Madam Amase.
But you see,
But that's a notorious fact in the
Professor.
there.
but you see,
where
but you
hairdresser?
see, Obi, me Amase, Enyankita.
No, I've interviewed her here before. I mean,
Charlie Atik.
yeah.
The way a lady no adwene mu dɔ no. So sometimes, you know, say, Usha no that direction. Kwa wan hwe ya.
But not mu do say the critical job of a parliamentarian
Exactly.
to make laws,
I
peruse bills and contribute. Now what's mean kind bill now? What do you mean do?
I've met Obi, I've met MPs. They are discussing a bill. The person serves on the committee that is supposed to have proposed the bill. I mean, that's is supposed to have worked on
Scrutinize
on the bill. No, Masa nipa no sebi Mr. Mika has no clue what the bill is about. What's the documents? No do.
Why are they not going?
Na say you go.
Why is
One
that?
kind, one kind zone. Tiasia.
When is that?
Bebre su ko akọ school mo so.
When is that?
But Obi, I know the education again. I think.
One kind zone. Tiasia.
Education,
I'm
I
not
think,
saying say.
said the majority leader can. At least, we can all agree. Say minimum nenye senior high
degree,
school,
for example,
and I say
and
your first degree.
and a
There
diploma,
should be something.
whatever.
I mean,
There
we
should
cannot
be
have a
some
system where you can say,
standard.
said yeah, Ghana for any bebre na ye wenti, ubetuma ko parliament that the hands always sound my Ghana ni. Who you eight? I mean, how who does
It can be
that?
at least diploma.
I mean, some minimum standard.
Education.
Yeah.
Na ye bro for
Because I mean, you cannot have a parliament and depending on school
Because
that
you
say
see,
uncle parliament.
you see,
To go and do
governance
what?
is a big
Okay, no.
construct.
Please.
Governance is a big construct. But when it comes to the work of parliament,
Yes.
it's specific
Yes.
to Nyomabi.
Yes. Depending
And
on
for the
school
most
that,
part, it
you can
focuses on
appoint that
expert-
person as part of the executive.
That's the thing. No, but look, we're a minister.
Yes.
Come again.
No,
Oh, yes, minister,
you can
you
appoint
don't
that
need to
person
have
as part of the
any-
executive.
Don't read the
No,
document.
no, the
Oh,
American is
say
saying
what technocrats
who said
of Webwano.
the job,
Yes.
the job of parliament.
Parliamentarian and
Charlie, Parliament is serious,
they didn't
Ejima.
even have them.
So
You go to make laws.
But technocrats,
Policy
you-
making chamber.
Yes.
If you are equally illiterate,
Yes.
now you are appointed as an executive. And then actually say technocrat.
You see, don't say
no,
illiterate.
Okay. Say
We-
when you too.
So illiterate is when you can read and write.
Sure.
No, it's illiterate.
Just literacy. Nipa nti mi nka, want to mean draw.
So,
We are talking about minimum level of education.
more point I make is here and say nipa ni nya equal at least executive. Nya sa na okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
the American is saying
And executive, the person will function because there are technocrats to guide him.
even when
But
he's
the
not going to school
technocrats
before,
can mislead you. And sometimes how can?
even when he's not going to school
technocrats
before.
can
No, when you
Yeah.
say he's not gone to school, how do you mean?
But that's what we are saying. Sir, in the requirement now for you to enter parliament, education your requirement too.
Yes.
Sound mind. 18
Ghanaian,
years. Ghanaian.
Ghanaian.
Asa.
Yeah.
The unsi school demo die your whole life. You can go to parliament.
Yeah.
And we are saying sir, that would have to change. How then do we
I see. Anyway, I see. We went to secondary school.
Shake.
Shake.
On the side,
Or see, or don't go on we until let's grant him so called secondary
Certainly,
school. That's
by a can be
Now-
a unsi school
Now,
them
Jacobi Chevlem to school.
on also but no certificate.
No, secondary school. No,
So no to me reading right.
No, but he's
No,
literate.
Jake, they also but when you
No, but he's literate, is he not?
Are you talking about lit? Oh, well, he's literate, I guess.
Who
He's
standard
literate.
now they ban it there? It wouldn't matter if you are literate. You have to have a certificate. Unless you are saying say your mom may have some literacy test to be. But you are saying you have
Because
to have
it is a certificate that shows say you.
Now
you
more
are-
about school so certificate my born eh.
Omako school.
Na
Omukra
for me
certificate.
course certificate. Na say
Now,
Legon.
where you will be our born.
Na say Legon. Na say Legon.
Lego Lego ahead in.
Ayi ọmọ
Master,
yìí
can you?
students bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ̀yẹ́ dia ọmọ
And
yẹn
they're
1.1
normal. Yeah,
Oh, say
time
now
na no
1.5
we
years start to professor yen.
meba so saa nipa no wako school.
On quiet. When we.
Ati wo school wonim kɔfo bebree a ɔmo wurawura mu ade wie school.
Say on that's why 1.5 chio mono.
there be young coffee bra or mutimi fa kwan bi so wie school.
But anyway, school be abanan.
If we want to add education as part of the requirement for you to enter parliament, and the reason parliament is important, to even become a minister, you should have that minimum requirement of you becoming a member of parliament. No, it's not be a minister in the parliament.
So once we get the educational bit attached to parliament, automatically affect the executive.
In the parliament, yes, a far education because the majority leader, I think, has pushed for minimum degree.
Yeah, I agree with
him. Is that acceptable?
I agree with him.
Oh, Obi, look at the at least, I mean, say degree require was so we can make a diploma. At least diploma. Now, presidential as well.
Nothing. The same thing.
Presidential as well. And Jawan's way.
Maybe free say.
Because I was we know.
It should be able to read and write. But then the question is, how do you assess
Obi Otimi
reading now writing?
It's a certificate that shows.
But certificates near war challenges with people who have gone to school with the certificates
and can't read. Secondary school where you want to mean
you can't
read, you can't write.
Go to employers with brain question the mobile can't say Obi kuta university degree or beba
somebody just sent me US for qualification to enter the Senate. Into Article 1, Section 3, Clause 3. No person shall be a senator who shall not have attained to the age of 30 years. And been 9 years a citizen of the United States. And who shall not, when elected, be an inhabitant of that state for which he shall be chosen. Under the Senate qualifications clause set forth in Article 1, Section 3, Clause 3, senators must be at least 30 years of age, a citizen for at least 9 years, and an inhabitant of the state from which he or she is elected. While the Senate qualifications clause expressly requires inhabitancy at the time of the election, Congress has interpreted the clause to require that senators meet age and citizenship qualifications only at the time they take the oath of office. And clearly, also education, yes, explicitly stated.
Yes, but you see, but Masa,
because their mode of language, English.
No, but Omwanga no beto abam obi a ongo school here. What are you going to advocate in the house?
Okay, so
most of the time,
who can stand as a member of parliament? I'm reading from the UK Parliament. Who can stand as an MP? Simple. I say to stand as a candidate in a UK parliamentary general election, you need to be at least 18 years and a British citizen, a citizen of the Ireland Republic, or a citizen of a Commonwealth country who does not require leave to enter or remain in the UK, or has an indefinite leave to remain in the UK.
It's even way simpler.
In the education account.
But you see, it is maybe the problem.
But they can tell
you we should explicitly write it.
Yeah.
But UK, so you want to become.
Who is disqualified from standing as a member of parliament?
Yes.
A member of the police forces, a member of the armed forces, civil servants and judges, people who are subject of a bankruptcy restriction order in England or Wales, or a debt relief restriction order, people who have been adjudged bankrupt in Northern Ireland, or people who have had their estate sequestrated in Scotland.
Yeah.
But civil servants to me, judges cry. I'm not for to me.
But you have to resign.
No, and no cannot. Say, Omono resign. Does it say that who resign?
But you have to resign. You are disqualified from standing.
When you are still a civil servant, it's the same like Ghana. You have to resign.
You see, mode of engagement in the English language.
And minimum no be to make English.
Exactly.
No. Challenge now you want to see you need one mother tongue.
Yeah, national language. I am an official language.
So the challenge we have is that so by MPS so to me kind
you have to be literate in English.
You have to be literate in English. So I don't know you Busa say is the literacy enough or you need to have a certificate to back the literacy.
Yeah.
So if the literacy is enough, then a quite ben you establish that literacy.
No.
You be mau esin watchro, and I be mau day. No, that for me is where, because you see, the entire show more than any or more education. Say education is important, but a jumana ye or parliament no. Apart from education, a whole farmer any near bia ye here for you to do the representation here more. Are you there for your people?
No, when you say are you there for your people, what are you there to do? If not
parliament, no
representation, no, sebi.
Primary job of a parliamentarian to make laws.
And how do you make laws when you don't even understand?
Me say, omuno die no. Oma establish say in spirit ne say obi atimi kakasa no.
Yes.
Etimi etro kasa.
Yes.
And I me kasa ye die no. Si etimi nya saa die ni wi a, ehọ ne ye challenge. Die ntia pesa with the education bechichiri nipa bebre ne say nipa ne timi kinkan etimi etra dia ka no more of a kwan a obegyina mu ama ne manfo enye sa wo ye scientist and I say wo ye whatever kwan a obefa so agina mu ama manfo because bill na ye pass no a lot cry a private member bill. So sometimes
in recent times the private members bill
no Cameron
and I will come on it.
Okay, it's a Ghana hampa.
Okay.
You were even experts who contributed to the development of the bill.
Sure.
You were legal experts, other people who So who MP no? You was standing orders. You were other things that contributed to the development of the bill and the functioning of Parliament. And to who MP no? So what to me can kind now to me eka kasana. Dia kapa dia mimi hunu. Opa yanking kind. What makes an MP and the duties of MP? You see that the spirit is more on the representation.
No, all these are manifestations of the
representation to do what?
To make laws.
The key thing is to make laws. And the point the ama idea we are
to make laws to make laws.
You when you look at the history of Parliament,
the interest of your people are coming. Mimi say ye bibia wo koje timamufo no adwen kire de aba now they are be informing decision na you making yen kasa wona be tromra no. Let's not confuse it. Who parliamentarian no who be boama emra na ye chichire no awie mu die
no
benyo na be parliamentarians na tromra.
No, you don't write the bill.
No, but you make as for drafting of the bill is different, but the content you generate the content.
Drafting of the bill now ya yeah, important in here. Informing the bill.
South Africa for
informing the bill.
Education in Nimbi.
Oh yes, that's the thing.
South Africa's education in Nimbi. I'm just reading it.
Reading law,
qualification of membership for National Assembly.
No, the constitution doesn't include education.
Mama, we would rather go on to Parliament website, find out the duties of who a member of parliament is.
Yes, okay, sure.
It should end this.
No,
if to make laws, because the challenge, and I know now honorable
to make laws.
Yeah, but that's the primary job of the parliament.
Yeah, to make laws.
To make laws, but are they to write the laws?
No.
Exactly.
Making laws,
you write. Job of some professional somewhere who drafts legal drafting. Big Juma, an office in the parliament.
A whole office
that does for legal
drafting. Parliamentarian,
they make them.
Obeji wo timamufu adwen kire e de aba ne de akekere mra.
That is it.
Yes, but no na be tro mra no.
But no be angazo mu tro mra no. They make the laws.
Then it doesn't matter if you have the technical expertise.
Maybe have you with the
you should be able to read
hold on. Obi. Have you ever
Kofi ni Atik and lawyer Munya Butrema me basi si Ekosiisen so higher Asempa FM enti messages no basa amount for interest in this topic no too much, but after this short break we'll continue. Stay with us Asempa FM so Ekosiisen dwumedi ni